Now this video is all about well-being gossip in the office. Now we've all been there, we've all been sat in the office one day and suddenly someone's talking about what diet they've been doing, how much weight they've been losing. They might have been talking about what workouts they've been doing, how it's making them really feel the burn and they feel awesome and all this sort of stuff, and cold showers and giving out advice, bridging on that really dangerous sort of knife edge of making someone do something without actual professional advice. It goes around offices all the time, and it's no surprise that it happens. In this video, I'm going to give you some hints and tips on how to avoid that and how to kind of deal with it, because it's difficult. So first of all, why is this a problem? Well, there's no guarantee that it's going to work. Okay, if someone's telling you about a diet that they've done, what might have worked for them might not work for you. So there's no guarantee that it's going to work. And if someone's spouting about their results, you probably want their results, because naturally we do envy when people have some form of success with their body, particularly if we're in a position where we don't particularly get a great deal of success with what we're currently doing. So we might end up open to trying anything. So this is a problem because there's no guarantee that what they're saying is going to work. You might also get disheartened if you do go and try what they've said and it doesn't work, and you start thinking different things about your own body and about your own methods and your own life. God, am I getting anything right? So those are two really big problems with what goes on there. But then what that leads to is relationship breakdowns. So during the office, if someone's giving you some advice and it's not worked out, you're not likely to trust that person any longer. And that's a big problem. So this ends up coming across as just being a lot of noise. So how do we avoid the noise? How do we get away from it? But also, how do you deal with it, and how do you challenge it as well? So rational thinking for a start. You've got to always take everything someone says with a pinch of salt when it comes to this diet advice, or whether it comes to exercise advice, or whether it comes from a book that they might have just read and they might have misinterpreted the meaning of the book or what's factually right in there, and then they've relayed it on to their workforce. So just take what they say with a pinch of salt, and if you need to, just say, oh, right, yeah, that's great, and then go away and research it. Don't go changing your whole outlook on life and everything that you already believe in just because somebody has been convinced or brainwashed by an influencer to think differently. Words can be like really, really powerful for some people, especially if they have a trigger point where it resonates with you and you go, that's why, and then suddenly you start to think differently. That doesn't mean you have to go change your whole belief system. Sometimes people can say things that are factually true. So if you think that that might be good for you, don't just jump on it straight away. Go away and research it. Go away and find all the factual evidence that it might be right for you, because it might be something that you've never heard of, but it might be something true. So there's not always this well-being gossip that goes around the office isn't always negative. Sometimes it can be really positive and impactful. Just that person relaying that message on is good, but don't turn them into your coach. Take what they say with that pinch of salt again and go away and research it. Find a professional in that industry and then seek some support from them. And one of the most important rules to blocking out the noise is don't be afraid to challenge someone if they're giving out advice to the office, across the cubicles or the fish pool or wherever you sit. Don't be afraid to challenge them on it, because they could be spouting some absolute rubbish. But even worse, somebody, for example, if they're talking about diets and how we're maybe restricting certain things or eating certain foods that they think are going to burn fat, could be silently triggering somebody in the other corner with an eating disorder or body dysmorphia, and then that could result in a really serious mental health problem for that person going forward, and then that then again breaks down more trust in your relationships in the office. So just be really careful about the things and the language that you use around the office when it comes to this sort of stuff, because it will have a serious impact silently on these people who might be suffering with other issues. So if someone's had a really positive result with what they've done, then it's really important that you can congratulate them for what they've done and how they've gone about it. But if they try pushing it on you to try, here's something that you can say. So someone's, pushing it on you. Oh, I've done this amazing workout. It's changed my life. I'm burning body fat to no end. And I've dropped like 10 pounds in the last 10 weeks. It's going amazing. I want you to try it. All you have to say is, I'm so pleased that's worked out for you. You look amazing. You're in great condition. You seem really happy and healthy. That's awesome. I'm actually working with a health professional at the minute, and what we've been doing as well has been working really well for me. So I'm just going to stick to that for now, but thanks for sharing your knowledge with me, and then go from there. What you've done there is you've congratulated them on their result. You've positively responded to them and what they're trying to tell you, but you've also deflected and said, actually, I'm working with a health professional. That they can't really bridge that gap because they're not a health professional and they're not better than a health professional. So really, they've got no grounds to say, well, I know better, because probably don't. So you're actually saying, actually, I'm working with a health professional, and what we're doing is working really well. I'm making progress myself. Well, they're probably not going to make more progress doing their workout than doing your workout. So, for example, you've kind of pushed them into a position where they've said, actually, he's got something great going on anyway. So he probably doesn't need my help. And then you've thanked them for sharing their knowledge with you, which they might see as a really positive thing that they've done, because actually they found that you're already on a workout plan or you're already doing something positive with your health and well-being. So there you end up with a more positive and healthy language relationship that you've used with each other, instead of telling them to do one and you don't want to be brainwashed by their propaganda. That could result in a bad relationship. So this is really helping that nurture a more healthier relationship. So those are just a couple of tips on how to deal with the well-being gossip that goes around the office. You'll probably notice it a little bit more often now after watching this video. Now hopefully you know how to deal with it. Write them down, write them on your desk if you need to. If you hear it more often than not, then stick a little postage note on your screen, just with a couple of those tips. Just remember, rational thinking. Don't go changing your whole outlook on your belief system because someone's been brainwashed by an influencer. Take everything what someone says with a pinch of salt. Check if it's qualified advice, and don't be afraid to challenge them as well, because they could be doing some serious damage beyond the conversation that they're having with yourself.